Beyond Black Beauty is a multi-generational story that follows Jolie DuBois, a strong-willed and gifted equestrian whose Olympic dreams are stunted when her mother shockingly moves them from the wealthy stables of the Belgian elite to a family urban ranch in Baltimore. I sat down with the creator and executive producer and writer, Pilar Golden, to discuss the series. Hi, I'm Jolie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I'm Pilar.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. I know you're very busy.
Thank you for your time.
Like, so I watched this series. I love the references to the Black culture. You had a horse named Dark and Lovely. There's like a crab boil at the cookhouse. The issues with the fighting cousins. So how did this idea pop in your head?
Thank you for calling out the dark and lovely. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Um, Amazon wanted to bring the IP into the 21st century, and every single Black beauty we've seen has centered the story around a white character. And this was my first chance to create a show. And, you know, I'm a Black woman and I wanted to see Black women. So this is my homage to the Black women who raised me, my love letter to them. And it allows me to highlight this culture that I myself didn't know existed. So exposing to not only the Black community, but to the country, like Black cowboys and Black equestrians exist, and we've existed for a very long time.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about the Black equestrian culture. So interesting, like how it's coming out, right? With Beyonce's whole Cowboy Carter, it kind of meshes a bit. I just
Yeah.
wondered, what did you learn about the Black equestrian culture?
That there's still a long way to go, right? Access to this world is very limited. To be an equestrian, you need the funds to do so. Horses are very expensive. English gear is very expensive. Learning how to show jump, event, dressage, all very expensive. However, one of the things that we wanted to highlight in the show is how accessible it can be with um, organizations like Compton Cowboys in Inglewood, sorry, in Compton. And then you have Aaron Brown in Philadelphia, who has a riding academy to expose the community to both English and Western styles.
Mhm.
So our hope was to show that there is access to this world and it's filtered through us.
Mm. That's what I was going to ask you. What did you want at the end of the series, the audience, the viewer, to take away from the series? So I guess you kind of answered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That Black people, even when we are operating with less, we still win.
Yeah, that's true. And how was the casting and where'd you film and all that? Can you talk about that?
Yes, we filmed in Northern Ontario, about 3.5 hours north of Toronto, and we also filmed in Belgium. So it was, 6 months of being on location, which is a blessing. Not a lot of people get to do that. Casting happened in Canada. It's a Canadian co-production, so all of our cast, with the exception of Gilles, who plays Cedric, is Canadian. And, it was a sort of experience of first looking at tapes, and then we had an in-person casting session to get some chemistry reads. Because truthfully, the relationship between Jolie and Janelle and Yvonne, and Jolie and Ronnie, and Yvonne and Ronnie were crucial. So I needed to see that in person.
Yeah, I like the differences of Jolie growing up overseas and how she kind of talked back to her mom and how she thought it was just okay to take a credit card. And I'm like, girl, I can tell you grew up in a different,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. She grew up different.
yeah, she did.
Mhm.
Any plans to expand or continue the story?
I mean, when I sat down to create the world, the hope was that it would be on for 10, 12, 15 years. I mean, you have a show like Heartland that is going into its 16th or 17th season. And You have spaces like Yellowstone that get all of these spinoffs. And so the hope is that we find an audience so that we can continue the story, this multi-generational story, and potentially spinoffs. But, I can dream and hope, but people have to watch.
Yes, and we will be watching. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for your time.
All right, have a good one.
You too.